Trump is saying that the free ride is over when it comes to these major universities still embracing diversity, equity, and inclusion. And, really, but you can't be Thor if you're a black man. Only be Thor if you're a white man. Really trying to make sure that he changed the game and changed the narratives on it. Actually, I'm going to come back to that clip. Let's start off with CNN, alternate view. Let's get it.
Breaking news in our politics lead. Harvard University is now suing the Trump administration over the administration's threats to cut billions of dollars from the university's funding. It's the latest escalation in the showdown between Harvard and the Trump administration after Harvard's leaders rebuked Trump's demands to change key policies and courses even. CNN's Jeff Zeleny is at the White House. Jeff, what is Harvard University's president saying about the lawsuit?
Well, Jake, this lawsuit is coming in. It's being filed against a variety of different agencies and cabinet secretaries, from RFK Jr. at the Department of Health and Human Services to Pam Bondi to the Defense Department. Basically all the agencies that have some funding for research programs at Harvard University. But we've just obtained a letter from the Harvard president that explains what is at stake here. And Alan Garber, the president, writes this. He said these actions have stark real-life consequences for patients, students, faculty, staff, researchers, and the standing of American higher education in the world. He goes on to say the consequences of the government's overreach will be severe and long-lasting. So, Jake, what's at issue here is the proposed freezing of funds of some $2.2 billion, and then a new potential round of funds being frozen of $1 billion. Now, these are a variety of programs, but a lot of them are medical programs. A lot of them are research programs. So this is one thing that Harvard is really standing up in a way that many other universities have not, trying to take this fight directly to the administration. Of course, we should point out one of the reasons Harvard is able to do this is because they do have the largest endowment of any college. And so far, the White House has not responded to this lawsuit yet, Jake.
Turning to breaking news.
So essentially what you guys are seeing and what's playing out is the Harvard board and president, because the president acts on behalf of the board, is saying that we deserve this funding from the federal government. And the majority of the funding comes in the form of research and grants. So this is not something that is inherently for them or that they deserve. This is something that has been given to them so that they can continue to work on or research different things that is not a priority, but it's a nice to have. It is not a must have, it is a nice to have. And that research funding can be anything from studying electric vehicles to the strength of concrete that we lay on our roads to biomedical research to cancer solving, HIV medication. It could be anything. But the federal government issues billions and billions of dollars in grants to major universities across the United States of America that is supposedly researching groundbreaking technology that can or cannot be used at some point in private businesses or from the federal government itself, right? And so we give our universities this money. I don't believe that any university deserves anything. The universities themselves should be only funded to make sure that education is the number one priority. Everything else is a nice to have. I'm not saying that research funding is not necessary. What I am saying is, why does it have to go to Harvard if they don't meet the expectations of whatever the agency that's distributing these funds are saying? I don't care where the funding goes, as long as they're meeting the expectations and they're doing the work. I don't care if it goes to a HBCU. Why aren't we sending $9 billion a year over to Howard or Spelman or Michigan State? Maybe Michigan State gets funding. Maybe they need to increase the funding. Whoever meets the expectations while at the same time can show and prove themselves to be doing the work, I believe that it should be distributed based off of merit. How about that? How about that? It should be distributed based off of merit. It should not be because you are just Harvard. If you are the college that meet the expectations and you can qualify for these grants and this funding, then sure, get it as long as you meet the expectations of whatever the federal government is saying. But no way in hell do you tell me that you deserve it and that you're going to sue for money that you believe that you deserve from the American taxpayers. Where they do that at? Somebody says you're comparing Harvard to a HBCU. Why wouldn't I? It's an institution of higher learning. It depends on whatever it is that they're researching. Maybe Harvard can do a better job at this particular thing, or maybe this university or this HBCU can do a better job at this particular thing. See, the fact that you just completely disregard an HBCU, which I'm not necessarily a fan of HBCUs per se, I think is discriminatory in itself. But if they were able to meet an expectation, and this is the example that I'm using, then I think that merit matters more than whether or not you are standing on diversity, equity, and inclusion in itself. My point is that an institution of higher learning should qualify the best candidates, not necessarily pick people based off of their race, their gender, or their sexual orientation. And the fact that they feel entitled, the fact that you feel entitled, you saying that inside of the chat actually shows me that you feel entitled, or you believe that Harvard deserves it just because it's Harvard. Tell me that you went there and that you actually an alumni and that you can substantiate your argument. That's what they don't understand, Christopher. Anybody can go to a HBCU. People choose not to. Maybe they need to market themselves differently. I don't know. But the point is that as long as a university is meeting the expectations in order to be a merit-based institution, maybe they should be the ones that get the funding. That's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying. Who deserves it? Is it the one that can complete the task and meet the expectations also of the federal government, which is our taxpayer dollars, or is it the one that deserves it just because their name is Harvard? I'd love to see more parity with more of our institutions and our universities. I would love to see more parity. I think we need more competition. I don't believe that Harvard just deserves it just because they're Harvard. I want to see more parity. How about that? More competition. May the best one win. That's what I want to see.
I can't wait to
we
get
should
to
also tell you
again.
Harvard suing the Trump administration following the White House freezing billions of dollars in grants that was earmarked for the school. The lawsuit accuses the administration of flouting the First Amendment and asks a federal judge to declare President Trump's freeze order unconstitutional. Harvard argues that the move was not related to anti-Semitism concerns that the administration has cited. That lawsuit, in part, says, make no mistake, Harvard rejects anti-Semitism and discrimination in all of its forms and is actively making structural reforms to eradicate anti-Semitism on campus. But rather than engage with Harvard...
Somebody said, now all of a sudden y'all want to help HBCUs. See, this is the most ignorant shit that I've seen all day. And it has to be from a person that is at least 37 years old doing this in a profile picture. Did you hear the word? Did you hear the word coming out of my mouth? Nobody wants to help anything. I said that there needs to be more parity, competition, and if somebody qualifies based off of merit, that's where it should go. If it's better for Harvard in this particular field of research, then they should get the grant. If it's better for Howard or Spelman because they're better at this particular research, then it should go to them. Nobody wants to help anybody. Again, it is a merit-based institution. And take that goddamn gang sign out of your picture. You're a grown man. If you're past the age of 17, you should not be doing that. Grow up.
Regarding those ongoing efforts, the government announced a sweeping freeze of funding for medical, scientific, technological, and other research that has nothing at all to do with anti-Semitism. In a new statement, a White House spokesperson says taxpayer funds are a privilege and Harvard fails to meet the basic conditions required to access that privilege.
We should talk about this. The thing, and I don't know, Becky, how you feel about it, though, and we've talked about the anti-Semitism piece of it for weeks on end. The truth is, if you look at what the government has said and what the president has said as it relates to Harvard, anti-Semitism is only a small part of it. What they're really trying to do is change the structure of Harvard and change who they hire, how they hire, what they do, And a lot of it has to do with ideological beliefs. And he has made it clear that it's actually in large part about ideological beliefs, about the professors that are being hired, the students that are being recruited, all of those things. That is where the free speech piece of this is complicated. That is where the free speech piece of this is complicated.
He's got about six things, at least 6 institutional entities in mind that he is not happy with and wants to disrupt, including media, including law firms.
Correct.
Including,
and I think, and we'll see what courts ultimately think, that perspective is not constitutional.
Not to say that I don't agree that the Ivy League and a lot of higher institutions have totally lost their way, and I don't like what's happening to
I'm not saying that they're perferent. I think they can be a lot better.
They're not just not perfect; they're hideous in terms of who's hired and the dogma that's institutionalized.
Once you're in, you can't get fired. Right.
And why do you think we have such problems with anti-Semitism? Because all these wacky, crazy stuff is institutionalized.
I agree with you,
and that's who you hire, and it's incestuous. And then the people that you hired 20 years ago that were like that are hiring more people that are like. So what do? You just let it continue? And well,
first of all, I think it's actually shifting.
You know who you can ask? Linda.
Shout out to the grown men in the chat saying, I could throw up whatever I want to, make me. Listen, I'm not going to make you do anything. It doesn't matter. You watching me, I'm not watching you. If you want to be the person that show up to every event still looking like you 13 years old, fresh in your white tee. Yup, and my white tee. If you want to be a person with arrested development, go ahead. Somebody needs to tell you grown, ignorant, stupid, dumb black men that ain't doing what they supposed to do. Not all of us is not doing what they supposed to do. You are a bad representation of who we are. And if you want to continue to be the ignorant fool that you are, then I'm going to call you out for it. What you think that you're not going to get the same kind of smoke because you're a man? You think that I'm not an equal accountability smoke giver? I'm absolutely exactly that. I want you to go out there and look like a fool with your dumb ass. Still throwing up gang signs in your picture. That's why you still work at CVS. That's why you got a boyfriend still in prison that you're going to go and visit. That's why y'all got kids out of wedlock, because if you are a representation of exactly who you show yourself to be inside of that profile picture. And every time somebody try to help y'all dumbasses, you always getting offended. Who you talking to? Don't step on my shoe. Don't nobody want to step on them little busted ass black Air Force Ones and you still wearing Timbs. Grow up. Grow up. Grow up. I said it. I said it right to you. Grow up. I know you're not educated. I know you stupid. I know you dumb as hell. I know you can't even read past the 3rd grade level because I'm looking at the way that you typing in the chat. I know you dumb. I know you stupid. I know you are a buffoon. I know that you are the one that was least likely to succeed, but they couldn't put that inside of the yearbook, and it got your picture on it. It's you. I know it's you. I see your type every single day. We don't glorify your trash-looking behavior no more. Man, Anton always talking down on us. I know, because you all the way down, and I'm trying to get you back up, but you want to fight it out. Don't worry about it. You couldn't even get past my security. You couldn't even get in my building. They don't let people like you in the neighborhood. As soon as they see your Chevy Caprice with 32s on it, you're going to get arrested. They're going to stop you right at the light. They're going to take you to jail for no registration insurance and for having a warrant in whatever state that you were in. They're going to call them. They're going to say, hey, do you want to come and pick this guy up? Because I know that he got a warrant in your city. I know what's going to happen. Don't worry about it. If you come and talk to me in person, it's a trap. It's a trap for you. I see. Wait a minute. Do you guys got him? Yeah, let me check him. Back child support, driving without a license, pistol. Yep. Go ahead and give him 5 years so he can go and visit his boyfriend again. I don't meet ignorance with ignorance. I meet ignorance with intelligence. I believe that you guys should be shamed. You should be shamed. We're going to shame you. No longer are you able to shame the intelligent ones, the ones that's doing great things for the community. We're now going to turn the tables. It is your turn to suffer. You are a Neanderthal. You are an idiot. You are dumb. It shows in the way that you communicate, and it shows in your speech. And God bless you, Pookie.
Man, to see whether saying that, it's a privilege to get taxpayer grants and taxpayer dollars, I don't know if you can argue that on First Amendment grounds. They can say whatever they want. You just don't get any.
Still selling nickel bags and dime bags. I got a dog. Keep on coming up to me every time I go to an event. I got your smoke. Every time I go down to Miami, walking down the street, riding a bike with no shirt on. Smoke. I got smoke in my backpack. We don't do that no more. We grown men. Time to evolve.
Just don't get any taxpayer money if you're going to do that.
But what you're doing by targeting in particular the science funding, the National Institutes of Health, the national science funding that comes through this,
targeting specifically,
is potentially
they're taking
breaking
all
down
the money away.
Right, but by setting these things up that are completely unrelated, what it does do is threaten the innovative engine of this country. So many of the great developments have come through the funding that comes through these universities. And I can understand being upset with how things have gone, with how some of these universities are looking on the other side of things. But to do this and to put all of that at risk, by the way, a lot of these funds were set up from funds that were promised for last year. If it's not resolved by July, from people I talked to about some of these issues on the science side of things, it's going to create massive problems. You are going to lose all kinds of students and doctoral candidates and PhD work that's being done and some of the most innovative cycles that are coming through. And that is something that, again, you can look at this the same way you look at the trade war. Were there imbalances and things that need to be adjusted? Yes. Is there a better way to do it? Yes. Is there a way that might preserve these institutions and preserve the functions that are best about the United States to do this instead of breaking everything? And
nope, I think we need to break it. I think that our institutions are broken. Our institutions have been broken for a long time. Our institutions have been broken for a long time. And I've been saying for a long time that our institutions are indoctrination camps. I've been saying it. That our institutions, if you go on these college campuses today, it's not like it wasn't yesteryear. If you go on the college campuses today, it is not like in yesteryear. These are not just institutions of higher learning. These are institutions where they're trying to indoctrinate your kids to do something and be something that they're not supposed to be. It's horrible. And I'm okay if we tear down the current structure. We don't always need to leave everything as is. Sometimes you have to break it in order to fix it. Sometimes if you get a bone in your body or you go through a certain injury, they have to break the bone in order to realign it so that you heal properly. We done with the current way that things are going. And I think that Boston itself is an institution that has fallen from greatness when it comes to being an institution of higher learning, and it's now just a liberal indoctrination camp. Facts. That's what I believe. Anyways, hit a like for the algorithm, subscribe to the channel, and turn on your notifications. Let me read some of these super chats. I see it's a lot of guys that's getting upset today. It's a lot of guys that's getting real emotional today. Oh, they in their feminine energy today. Typing hard in the chat. Never thought that you was going to be a chat hard type chapper. Hard type chapper. Never thought that I would see it be you. If your homeboys on a set in the hood knew that you was typing hard in my chat, they would be all over you, bro. They would be all over you. Just dog, put the Obama phone down and go and kick it with your homegirl, bro. Get on your job. Get on your job. You know what you're supposed to be doing today. Oh, y'all don't know what he was supposed to be doing? Dog, it's almost a new round of social services that's going to be going out. She about to go get her food stamps. You supposed to be at the gas station selling them food stamps and getting 2 for $1 on the dollar, possibly getting 2 for $1, 4 for $10 on the dollar. You know you got to go and hang out at the grocery store and say, hey, man, I'll get you good groceries. I give you, for whatever you get, give me half. Give me half in cash and I'll pay for it with the card, with my girl's card. That's your card? No, it's my girl's card. She gave me the code. She gave me the 4-digit PIN number, though, and I could just go ahead and get your groceries for half. You know what you're supposed to be doing, bro. That's your job. That's your job. That's the way that you think that you're a provider. And I need a submissive woman so I can go out there and sell her EBT and her food stamps to make sure, because I'm bringing in the cash, dog. I'm bringing in the cash. Word of the day is J-O-B. And then keep on listening to all of these segments that I'm doing on the Millionaire Morning Show like he can relate. Yeah, see, that's why I didn't go to college. Because ain't nobody about to take it out these student loans. Look at all of these modern women. They just keep on stealing my talking points. They the most in debt and the most enrolled, even though they sitting here talking about they don't want a man. Can't believe these women. Kevin Samuels was right. Kevin would be rolling in his grave if he seen what these women was acting like today. Nigga, you can't relate to me. You can't relate to people that can really get it, that's rich. Stop acting like you a part of the crew. You just here. You don't have the same opportunities. Yeah, because, when I get myself together, I get my $15 up. I'm definitely going to be joining the Bag Chasers time. It's coming. Give me 3 more months. I'm a get my $15 up, and I know you're going to be giving me a seat at the table, dog. And I just keep on appeasing you. Yeah, I feel you, dog. Listen, go ahead. Stay focused. Get on top of it. Wasting my time. Let me get a coaching dog. Tom, let me get a coaching call. Tom. I keep telling Rita, hey, he gonna be reaching out again, but he don't even have his GED yet, but he want a coaching call. So just keep telling him that we gonna move him to the front of the line and we gonna get to him when we get to him. I'm an honorary bag chaser. Oh, you're part of the group? No, I'm honorary. I watch you every day, but eventually I'm going to join so I can get some money. I could do this all day. All day, every day.